off, don't just start grab and pull. You've waited for a while, you decided to build a kit, so let me explain to you what is in this box. Now, this happens to be an actual C.F. Martin kit. As you do know, we here at Blues Creek Guitars sell custom kits and we sell C.F. Martin kits. Now, the first thing you want to do is open the box. You want to be careful on how you start ripping into here, because there's a lot of little parts and you don't want to just throw them out. Because oftentimes I'll get a phone call, I got a kit and I can't find my bridge pins, and I can't find my bridge, and I can't find my dots. Well, that's because we try to keep everything packed very well, and trust me, my wife can pack very well. We try to have everything wrapped up so it's a big chunky box. But sometimes there are some things that are loose. So never assume the box is totally empty. So, what is in the box? Well, look at this. There's a set of sides. And look at this. Here's my binding. And here's a bag full of stuff. Oh boy, that looks neat. And oh, I got a little book. Oh boy, I got some more wood. And as you see, you can kind of get overexcited, and next thing you know, you're missing parts. Now, there's a truss rod in here. Then, we have a neck. Oh, and at the bottom, there's 2 pieces of cardboard taped together. What's this? Okay, this happens to be, for those of you who like to make your own stuff, this is a half a template, so you can make your own mold. We do recommend that you build these guitars with a mold. If you've never built a guitar before, and you're really interested in doing so, please take the time. There's 2 places I think you need to go. Number 1 is Blues Creek Guitar link on YouTube. We also have the YouTube link on our site, bluescreekguitars.com. We also have another site called the Kit Guitar Forum. Now, the Kit Guitar Forum is probably misnamed because we do more than kits, but it was originally started by Bill Corey, and we have taken this over a couple of years ago when he wanted to stop doing it. Anyway, long story short, we're still carrying on his tradition. Now you can see the top has a rosette. The rosette route's done, and here is the back purfling or decorative strip for putting your back together. So, this happens to be a wonderful top, and if I didn't know any better, I would say that's either red spruce or Carpathian. So that is a wonderful, wonderful top. As you can see, I've got a pile of parts now. Do I have everything out? Well, I don't know about you. I'm not a big fan of this stuff, but that's what they send it in, and no. Look at that. We missed a part. So, let's see if we've got all of our parts. Okay, shredded paper. Everybody needs at least a half a ton of shredded paper. Wonderful cardboard box. And look at that. I made a mess. Now, at the back of the C.F. Martin book on here is a parts list. Okay, for those of you who get a custom kit, I often throw that book in there. I will call it a minimalist book. I wish there was more detail in it. That is one reason why we decided to do the videos. Now, I'm going to cut the wrap. That's your curved lining. That's your fingerboard. And if you take notice, you have braces here. Now these braces are wrapped up for the top and they're wrapped up for the back. This is your cross splice. That will go over the joint of the back. So when you do this, okay, when we do this, that piece here, your wonderful nice piece of zipper strip, will go in the joint here. Now people ask, do I glue the joint together and then route that in? And I will say no. Put it in now. So you have a piece of cross-grain spruce that's going to go over the joint. And that helps to support and strengthen this. And you put this on first, then you lay the bracing up. Now if you take notice, you may not be able to see it, but here are all of your bracing marks. And they have them laid out, lower one, that one, this one, and there. So they have them laid out for you the way that they go. Alright? If you have a thickness sander, you can make these a little thinner than they are. They're about 125 thousandths, but you could actually sand these down. I go sometimes as far as 95 thousandths. So, right there, your top plate, your back plate, your joint, your rosette material. Now, this will go with the sides. One thing you have to be very aware of, the top and the back are already shaped, so this is not universal. Bracing, that will go for your top, and as you can see, your bracing plot's been laid out for you. Here your bracing plot's laid out for you, so here's all your top, here's all your back. Okay, as I'm laying this, as you're laying the parts out, you want to try to be lay them out where you think they're going to go. So here, this is actually part for the top. That's your bridge plate, your pick guard. A lot of people will ask me what this is. Those two pieces of rosewood, they are for side supports. Your tailpiece wedge and a little bit of purfling that goes there. Here are your pearl dots, your saddle, your nut, and your bridge pins, and a set of guitar strings, and your bridge. Then, neck and tail block. Now you're going to find that the neck and tail block are a little bit oversized, so you're going to have to take care of that. And again, that's covered in my Blues Creek Guitars YouTube videos on kits. You'll get all of the information there. Then we have our fret walk. So you get your book and you open your book, and in your book we'll have a headstock layout sheet. Now don't assume that this is the exact size. Use your measurements. Always trust your measurements. Okay. Back, braces, that's the centerpiece. Rosette material, top braces, bridge plate, and here is an inventory list. And you can see that the inventory list has a check mark. So if there's a check mark in here, it is in the box. So, bridge with saddle, shaped, right there. Right there is the saddle. Ribbon lining. That is the ribbon lining. That will go on the rim. Next thing, machine shaped neck. Well, what do you know? There we go. I wonder if they have a termite shaped neck. Now, adjustable truss rod, right here. Now they don't supply a truss rod wrench, but this is just a typical 5mm two-way rod. And let me say this, when you put your two-way rod here, when you get to that point, you lay a bead of glue in the bottom, put that in, a bead of glue on the top, and then that gets glued on all at one time. We have a video on how to glue that up, but I just want you to see how those parts fit together. You have the veluto on this guy. So we got the truss rod, we got the neck, book matched, bent sides, shaped, trimmed, and contoured. So what does that mean? Well, obviously they're shaped. They are trimmed to length to fit into the mold. For those of you that know me, I also sell guitar molds, other luthier jigs and fixtures. You can find us again at bluescreekguitars.com. But a lot of times when I sell kits, and sometimes on the different forums, people will ask me, how can I identify the top from the back. Well, since this has been already contoured, and that's what they mean, the back has been set up with about a 15-foot radius. The top is set up pretty much flat. So when you lay these out onto a tabletop, you're going to see that one way they lay pretty flat, the other way they're going to rock. The perfect way is to put them into the mold. So if you have a mold, then you can actually check them in the mold. But let me show you this. If you put them together and look at the gap. See that? And when I push up here, see the gap goes again? That side is not flat. Okay, when I hold this on here, when I'm looking, you can probably see, if you're really careful, you can see how the waist comes up and around. So if I lay my side on here, can you see how that's rocking? Alright? You see that? And then the top will be a lot flatter. You see that? So when I lay this down on something flat, that doesn't rock. Alright? When I put the back on here, now you can see it wants to rock. Alright? The tail end's wanting to lift. So that's your back. Now, when I put this side here and that side together, they're going to be much more true to each other. So when I hold this end together, in fact, what I'm going to do to make this a little bit more visible, I can tape this together right here. Alright? And I'm going to take this end together here. And as you can see, they actually mate pretty well. That is your top. Now, just for giggles, I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to put it on the other side and watch what happens. This is the back, and that actually has, as I told you, that radius designed into it. So now, if I go back here and I tape these two together, alright, you can see at the top, I cannot mate them. So now you know how to identify the top and the back. So that explains that part. So let's put these back together a little bit. So now we have sides trimmed and contoured. That's what that meant. Now the next thing, the back marquetry. What they're calling the back marquetry is that piece right here. Okay? And then here we have the sides and the backs together. And you can see that they color match pretty well. They try to joint these pretty reasonably at the factory. And what they mean by jointed, not necessarily that they're glued together, but that they true the edges so you can glue them together. Alright? That's what they mean by jointed. Alright, now, spruce top. From a Martin kit, they are always joined, thickness sanded, bracing laid out, and the rosette sometimes may even be installed. Boom, that takes care of that. Now, while they are sanded to a thickness, you have probably about 5 to 10 thousandths that you can actually sand these down. So you can, don't get so overly aggressive in the sanding that you turn it to paper, but know that you can sand out little minor defects as you build a guitar. We often call it a bench rash. So if you put a scratch, know that you can take it down a little bit. Then here is the set of braces, and they talk about the top braces, X braces, the flat tone bar. This is your tone bar. Now when they say flat, they mean there's no radius on this part. The only thing in a Martin kit that has a radius are the two X's and the brace with the hole in it, the truss rod brace, right here. Okay, these are the finger braces, these little 1/4 inch braces, and you want to make sure that the grains go vertical. Arch back braces, that's what these are. All of them, all of the back braces do have a radius, And that's pretty pronounced right there. You should be able to see it. Okay, then we have a bridge plate right here. The front block and the rear block. Front block, rear block. This piece here, this cantilever piece, that can actually be removed. That is in there for in the production floor when they go to glue the fingerboard extension. That actually worked as the clamping caul, and it was cheaper for them to put it in now than it was to fumble as the employee tried to work that in. So you can actually remove it. It's a piece of weight you don't need in your guitar, and if you want to let it in, you're certainly welcome to do so. Okay, top and back binding. Now, on your top and back binding, depending on the kit, you'll see some differences. Usually the back binding will just have one piece of purfling and one piece of side binding. The top will have multiple pieces. It depends on the guitar. So there is your top and your back bracing. I'm sorry, your top and your back binding. Rosette inlay piece, that is this. Okay? Slotted fingerboard, tapered and radius. So that has the slots in it for the fret wire. Has the holes drilled for your dots. You can see it has the taper. And it has a radius. I don't know if you can see it, but here you go. It's usually about a 16-inch radius. Okay, we have that done. Now we have pick guard. Here's your pick guard. That has double stick tape on it. End piece. That's what the little tapered piece is right here. Neck heel cap. That is that little square piece of white material here. Fret wire. Standard. That means it's usually 37 by 80. 37 high, 80-inch wide. And it's usually a 20.5 tang. That's standard fret wire. Nut blank, that's what this is. Mother of pearl position dots, that's what this little bag right here with the tape on it. Enclosed tuning machines, right there. And that will probably be the only thing that will have the CF Martin logo. You will not get a CF Martin logo with your kit, and please don't ask, they are not available. Unfortunately, this would be your guitar, it won't be a Martin guitar. Light gauge guitar strings, right here. Bridge pins and end pin, that's this little bag. But they omitted one little thing. There's a little thin, what might look to you to be a wire. It's a plastic piece of dowel, and that will fit when you make your drill your holes for your position side dot markers, the 1/16 of an inch hole, and you drill them in there. You'll put that in, cut them off with a chisel or razor blade, and that is it. So all of the parts to this guitar kit are here. When we sell you one, you'll not only get this, you'll get a couple other books along with a Blues Creek guitar hat. Again, we thank you for your support. Now you know what is in your guitar kit, you know how to unpack it, you know what to look for, and I hope you have a lot of fun building your Blues Creek guitar kit or your Martin guitar kit from Blues Creek Guitar. Again, thank you very much. I'm glad that you came and visited my shop. Talk to you soon.